Hello, everyone. So this is our live stream. Apologies for the issues we faced at the starting of the stream earlier. So this is, if you're joining us late or if you're watching as a recording, just let you know that we are a Facebook community investing with a difference. And we are doing altcoin tradings as well as investing in cryptos for long term and creating wealth. So do join us, search us on Facebook as Investing with a Difference, and you will be able to easily join us in this group. It's a closed group. We want to be it's a well moderated group, and we are trying to make sure it's only for serious investors. So today we are going to talk about Ethereum and what is the future for Ethereum, and then we compare it with EOS on why we believe EOS is the future. And so Ethereum has been one of the oldest smart contract platform. It has given us the ecosystem of so many different ICOs. It has given us some of the key smart contracts that is like it is a decentralized platform which you can write smart contracts on. It has been responsible for launching most of the cryptocurrencies of the world. So if you go to the Etherscan and you see uh, there are almost 81,000 tokens issued on which are called ERC20 tokens. That means they are running on they are smart contracts on Ethereum blockchain. Now, of course, most of these are maybe not even traded or not big enough, and they die out very quickly. But I think there are still at least 1,000 tokens which are traded on a daily basis and created a lot of value. In addition, I think Ethereum is still a very easy to use platform. They have been around for a long time. They are proven. So what is like if I look at the DApp, so this is the site which tracks all the decentralized applications. And if you go there, you will see like thousands of apps being written, and Ethereum is driving this ecosystem. So I would still give them a lot of credit. While we will talk about the challenges with Ethereum going forward, we are going to talk about what is happening in in the in the blockchain world. But we need to understand that Ethereum has been the pioneer for creating this whole market. Now, let us let us review what happened with Ethereum till now. So, if you were around in cryptocurrency world and you're investing in early 2017, Ethereum was at $10. It's actually less than $10, and it has gone towards early 2018. It went all the way to $1,400. Now, since then, so what was driving it was the last year was pretty good. It was very big for blockchain, for smart contracts. If you see, this was the time when it corrected from $400 when the market was going down, and then it just took off. And since January 2018, as the market has collapsed, we have seen that Ethereum came down all the way back to $368 or so, $365, which was interestingly very similar to our previous few highs. It took support here. So what was driving this big jump here was the number of ICOs which were launched on Ethereum, and you have to finance your ICOs. You have to buy Ethereum, and those ICOs generate that money in Ethereum terms. And then what I hear is that this it underperformed in this correction because people were selling Ethereum, with whatever they had collected in ICOs. This also tells us that a lot of money was being spent by these projects in hiring people, in implementing projects, and that's where we found that there are a lot of progress happening on other projects now. So now Ethereum has challenges. So let me give you one example. So Vitalik Buterin, who is the co-founder of Ethereum and who is the person who's proposed uh, the Ethereum once he saw that Bitcoin has potential, and he started smart contracts on the blockchain. Now, this is a statement, very recent statement from him in as recent as April of 2018. And he's talking about Ethereum apps are being screwed by scaling. What he means is, if you go into details, he's talking about if you want to build a decentralized Uber and Lyft on top of an unscalable Ethereum, these are his words, you are screwed, full stop. So he understands that this is the founder of Ethereum telling us that Ethereum is unscalable. And they have been working very hard to make it go like it can only do a few transactions per second. And if you have heard recent stories about how Ethereum blockchain was completely blocked by CryptoKitties or such kind of applications. So this is one example where they have realized that Ethereum has to change if it has to continue to succeed. Having said that, I still believe, I think we have been talking on our group, I talked about the bottom of Ethereum and that it will outperform. It has been outperforming in last few weeks of recovery. And I still believe it will go up. And how they are going to do that, we will talk about that in a little while. But before that, while if you know us on this group and if you know that we really love EOS, I would like to go back to EOS and have a comparison. So this was Vitalik Buterin's comment that you cannot build applications like Uber and Lyft. And this is very recent comment. While this is the white paper of EOS, which I'm referring to, and EOS white paper starts with that they have started this whole EOS project with an assumption that they want to run applications like eBay, Uber, Airbnb, Facebook, that level of scalability. So there is a difference between trying to scale up an existing blockchain versus designing from scratch. That is a benefit EOS had, and that's why we really love it. And we have gone into many details earlier. So I'm not going to get into the technical details of other benefits of EOS like free usage, easy upgrades, and low latency, which is again very critical. And there are some other benefits. But let's go back to Ethereum and what they are trying to do. So Ethereum has multiple projects for scaling. So what they are trying to do is there's one project which is called Casper. So this is a proof of stake based model where they're going to add proof of stake on top of proof of work like mining based operations. And this is going to be a hybrid proof of work and proof of stake consensus mechanism. Now, as you are all aware, and we have talked about in other videos, EOS is delegated proof of stake. So they already have understood that proof of stake is one of the critical aspects of scaling. The second project is Plasma, which is they are trying to do some kind of a multiple chains where you can actually do a child blockchain and it can connect to the main Ethereum blockchain and you can independently run these and scale the whole program. Again, this was actually, or the origin is pointed to August, which is after EOS. So you need to understand that EOS has been working on side chains on the scalability much before Ethereum even thought about it. Then sharding. This is again another project which they have started, and this is where they are trying to build a layer 2 of Ethereum, and which will be running kind of a split. They will split the whole network, and they will run it independently, and then there will be a way of integrating this into the Ethereum. Now, again, all these concepts are futuristic. They're nowhere close to implementation. And one thing I would like to highlight, there are a lot of articles being written by people, and this is what this resonated with me. Ethereum only gives you headlines, but they're not deadlines. So basically what they're trying to say here is that there are a lot of projects, there are a lot of talks about Ethereum going to scale one day, but they have not been able to move ahead. And if you have been in the world of in the software world, you understand when you have a running chain which is already running thousands of ICOs, which is already running so many smart contracts, to go and fork it to make changes in a running blockchain, it's very risky, and they are very slow in how they move ahead. Another thing which they highlighted is they have so many different projects. There is not a single solution they're targeting. So what they're saying is the one of the solution is dependent on the other. So when they're talking about sharding, the sharding, in his own words, Buterin has said that it will only be fused when into the upcoming Ethereum code once they have already switched to Casper. So there are dependencies. So unless they complete Casper, they cannot do sharding. So it's not a parallel process. They cannot really move fast enough. So these are the challenges which Ethereum is facing, and I don't think they're going to be able to solve them fast enough. So coming back to EOS, so this is why I think EOS has a lot of potential. But again, I would like to highlight, you should not write off Ethereum. Of They're aware. So this is a team of very good people. They are already working on there are a lot of DApps which are already being written on Ethereum. They will find it very difficult to migrate. Plus, it's a proven system. It's going on for a long time, even though it's not scalable, even though they're finding it difficult to implement scalability. But at some point, we expect them to resolve these issues, and they still have a lot of money and good developers behind them. And plus, I'm very excited about some new stuff which is happening. There, like Aeon is another project where what they're trying to do is they're trying to build an inter-blockchain communication, and they're solving the problem that way. So this is one of the things I wanted to highlight. So coming back to our investment discussions, so Ethereum, as I said, it is still in an uptrend. It can definitely make its all-time highs going forward, and it's recovered very nicely from the bottom of 365, and we have been calling to keep your Ethereum stake in your core portfolio. And once EOS really comes out, it establishes itself as a proper chain. Maybe it will be a good competition, but at this stage, you need to understand Ethereum is the only smart contract platform which is which is functioning, which is proven, and the other competition is still catching up. And there is a long way for Ethereum to go before we call it like it is the end of Ethereum. Now, one thing I would like to highlight is comparison of Ethereum with EOS. So this is an overlaid chart of Ethereum with the EOS. So as you see, EOS and Ethereum have actually gone up and down as the market has gone, and they are very much correlated. It's not that one has outperformed over other, but you need to understand the strength of Ethereum. So Ethereum has been able to perform as well as the EOS has been able to perform as well as Ethereum, even though it was not even a real project. It was still a white paper, still under development. So that is the strength of EOS. But in recent time, as we are getting closer to the launch, if you see the performance, it has started outperforming in a big way. And this is where I think if you look at it, there is a lot of potential for EOS to go and make it much bigger than Ethereum. So while I'm telling you that, yes, there will be a market for both solutions, and Ethereum has been there, but EOS market has picked up on the potential of EOS, and it is going way above. In the last move, you can see that it is one of the fastest mover in terms of the percentage gains from the bottoms of March and April timeframe, and we hit the bottom in the market. So from this perspective, I would say if we go back and look at only Ethereum, if we just disable the comparison, and if we compare the only EOS, the exponential rise of EOS is just started. And can it go and scale new highs? Yes, I think if they are able to successfully launch, if they don't have any issues during launch, I expect EOS to hit maybe $50 or $100. We have already done another video on what to expect during the launch and the potential challenges. So we will keep you updated on how that turns out, what is going to happen when the launch happens. So those kind of things we have already discussed. Do watch our video on the YouTube channel. Let me just quickly show you some of our videos here. So this is our YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed, so this is the video we are talking about EOS mainnet launch. We also talked about EOS fork, which is happening. So this is basically a community coming, a new community is forming where they're saying, we have some challenges in EOS because of potential cartels which can form, and the Evolution OS is coming up with their own branch with a different constitution. So EOS is getting a lot of attention. It is a project which is making a lot of waves. On the other hand, now I will have one more point I wanted to show. So this is the update from today. So this was the news where they're talking about how Ethereum is, the new consensus is taking shape. What that means is they are implementing the Casper. This is one of the projects we talked about earlier. Now, what I want to highlight here is the cost of participating in this Casper is 1,500 Ethereum right now, or over 1 million. So while Ethereum is claiming that EOS can be driven by some rich folks who will be the block producers and so on. It is the same thing. Everywhere they're facing the same challenge. If they want to implement this in a way, they are relying on some big people who are able to stake up to $1 million worth of Ethereum to participate in this experiment of uh, Casper. So I would say Ethereum has the similar issues, and ultimately everybody has to solve this together and make sure that it works and we see the progress of blockchain. So anybody on the, I think we have a few viewers I can see, and if you have any questions, please feel free to add it here. We will try to answer. Um, Coming back, so I think overall, I would say EOS and Ethereum both are part of our portfolio. We are more overweight on EOS because we see the potential, but we are still continuing to hold Ethereum because we do see that it can go up, but till we see a working solution which can beat Ethereum like EOS. Then there is another project, Cardano. We have a lot of other blockchain solutions which are trying to take Ethereum's place, and we need to watch out for how it progresses. Then I think this is one of the things I wanted to talk about today before we go and look at some more interesting aspects. So for the EOS, we had done a video on registering your keys. One thing I would like to highlight is there's a new post published where some people are getting paranoid about using a website and using internet while they're generating a key. And it is risky to have your EOS key stolen, because if your EOS doesn't have a wallet or a hardware wallet right now, so you cannot really store your EOS private key in a safe and secure way, just like we do with our Treasure or Ledger Nano. So what is one way which somebody has suggested, and this is EOS New York, which is one of the block producer candidate and community builders. So these people have published, if you are interested, you can run offline, you can generate a private key, which while you're not connected to internet, and you are very secure while you're generating the public key and private key. And you can re-register that public key on your Mu, that is the MyEther wallet. That will give you a sense of security that your private key has never gone on internet, or it has you can do it while you're not connected. So they have given some commands. They have tried to make it as easy as possible. So we will post this link on the video. So if you are interested in doing that, if you have big enough stake in EOS, do consider this. Maybe we'll do another video to go through this process so that you understand what needs to be done. Then I think other than that, we are starting a lot more work on fundamental analysis for new picks. So if you want to join us, if you want to join our Telegram channel, we will be sharing a lot more details on that. And do send us your feedback if you are looking for certain things. What is the challenges in doing crypto trading or creating a portfolio? We are open to suggestions, and how we can help you. We will keep working towards it. So that is, if there are no other questions, we will call it a day for today. Thanks for joining, everybody. This was a session on Ethereum versus EOS. Before we close, I think we should look at our usual Bitcoin and price analysis. And I think this is, we posted a video earlier today. The situation has not changed much. So we have turned back from 200-day moving average. We are still not able to break out above 10,000. But we do have support in 8,700, 8,800 area, and we should still call it a consolidation. It's not really making new lows, so that's why we are still very positive. And next week's events, like the Consensus is a big conference, I'm expecting that we will be seeing some move around that time. And we are working right now to find some interesting picks for next week when there's a lot of events happening, there are a lot of launches, and news flow expected on some coins which are going to participate in Consensus. So if you're joining our Telegram channel, we will be sharing more details about them. and we will be providing updates on what are the critical pieces of information you need to know and how we can trade that news. So will join us there, and we will be able to help you maybe make some good trades. So I see that there is nobody on the live chat, so we will close it for today. Thanks for joining. Subscribe to our channel, and we will see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.